Ann Polina has been head of school at Westover for the last 17 years and was one of the earliest advocates of programs encouraging girls in the study of math and science. She graduated from Fordham University with a BA in mathematics and earned her master's in mathematical scholarship from NYU. She continues to teach a class in AP/BC calculus, Ann's Westover career has spanned years of teaching and dedication to girls' education. Ann is a very strong proponent of girls' education, gender equity, women's leadership, and excellence in schools. She has written articles, produced videos, and is a sought-after expert in the educational field, asked to speak frequently around the country. She is on the board of directors of a number of regional and national groups that promote women's education. She is the past president of the board of directors of the Headmistresses Association of the East, and also past president of the board of trustees of the National Coalition of Girls' Schools. She is on the Commission of Independent Schools for the New England Association of Schools and Colleges, and a member of the board of directors of the Mariendo Initiative, and instrumental in the founding of the Mariendo Girls' School in Rwanda. Ann is parent to 2 Westover graduates, Emily in 2000 and Elizabeth in 2003, and it's my pleasure to have her speak today.
Good morning, everybody. I want to start my speech by saying that Haley, Catherine, and I really didn't talk about our talks today, but you're going to see a common theme. Last week, my husband said to me in the early morning hours, I had the dream last night. I didn't have to ask him what dream he was talking about because he too is a teacher, a university professor for the last 35 years. But I urged him to tell me about it. I was walking down a totally unfamiliar corridor, opening doors, looking for the class I was going to teach. Several people gave me advice, but no one could tell me exactly where to go. The hour got later and later, but I still couldn't find my way to my class. It may surprise you that faculty members, the faculty members sitting in back of me in front of you, are still a little bit uneasy and nervous at the start of the school year. I would bet that most of the people behind me have had similar dreams. I know I have. Walking into a classroom and being introduced and told that instead of my prepared lecture in calculus, I was expected to give an in-depth talk on the Krebs cycle, or the use of metaphor in what we did. All of us today are facing the unknown. That's the point. For the students, especially if they're new students, this is a grand experiment. Completely new faces, new places, new ideas. But all of us are facing the new and untried. Now you're saying I'm a sophomore, I'm a junior, I'm a senior. How will it be different for me? Faculty have the same feelings, new faces, new class dynamics, maybe new colleagues in their classes. This will be a year of change for our school, and change is hard. We are conditioned, in fact, to seek and find comfort in the familiar. I am here today to remind us that what we pay in the loss of comfort in times of change, we reap in the excitement of new possibilities. As Ben has just mentioned, our year this year will have a focus on patience and mindfulness, qualities we really desperately need in the hectic world in which we live. And I will admit, after talking to them, I reread my remarks somewhat sheepishly and wondered if I should be titling them The Joy of Stress. Because I do want to focus a little bit on the positives of uncertainty and disruption in our lives. And I will forecast my conclusion. This message is not at odds at all with living in the moment and facing every day reflectively. Mary Catherine Bates has written, we are all called to join in a dance whose steps we learn along the way. All called to join in a dance whose steps we learn along the way. And that is the state of our lives. We cannot stop change from happening, but we have a choice. We can allow fear and caution to dominate, and we can try to stand on the sidelines, or we can exuberantly join the dance, maybe stumbling at first, maybe needing to rely on those around us to teach us the steps, certainly hoping that hands will reach out to steady us on our way. When we face change, it is strange and disruptive. We console ourselves by finding the familiar part of the new experience. So this is a new grade or even a new school, but much is familiar. I know I've been successful in English and history, so I'll avoid math and language as much as I can, you may be saying to yourself. It is easier for all of us to shrink from those parts, all of those parts of any new experience that are really different. And by the way, we're biologically programmed to do just that. I recently read a Stanford study that indicated that 93% of the thoughts that we have on any given day are actually thoughts we've had before. 93%. I'm here today to speak on behalf of the 7%. Of the new, the different, the uncomfortable, the uncertain, the disruptive, all of the things that we never envisioned, and all of the things that are an inescapable part of new experience and of change. And I'm wishing for all of us the courage to embrace and the heart to enjoy these things. Take a class in a subject you've never studied before, be bold, and choose a class you're not good at. Make a friend with somebody who doesn't look like your kind of person. Try something that scares you, public speaking, running for office, maybe just raising your hand. Join the dance. Learn the steps along the way. I will share with you 7 things I do when I find myself facing the completely familiar and uncomfortable, which I am this year. First, don't be afraid to admit you are in uncharted territory and it feels unnerving, difficult, distressing. Don't pretend that everything is okay, but believe it will be. Listen critically. Listen to the positive, productive voices of the people around you, and try to avoid falling in with the naysayers and the complaining negative voices. I need to say, all of us do this. It is so easy to spend time playing what people call misery poker. Right? So your friend walks into your room and says, I got my 2 tests in the paper this week, what am I going to do? And you say, I know, I have 2 tests in the paper to a lab report. Right? So poker. I'll see your 2 tests in the paper and I'll raise you a lab report. We do it. We all do it. The adult version of this is that I have 2 tests in the paper to grade this week. Response is, I know, and I have 7 meetings. You know, as I say, it's so easy to do, and honestly, it just lines us up. It lines us all up and gets us much into or away from that whole sense of patience and mindfulness that we're trying to achieve. The last thing you did is the 3rd tip that I gave you, laugh. Just laugh. When things get really tough, sometimes that is the only response that you can have. It's best to do this with your friends, but I am going to tell you that even laughing at your fears by yourself behind a closed door helps. Fourth, again, you've heard this from both Kaylee and from Catherine already, be willing to say oops. When you're in a place of change, when you're surrounded by the unfamiliar, you will make mistakes. They will be impossible to avoid, so just make them your friends. Your response to your mistakes, not your mistakes themselves, are what will define you. And keep that in mind. The 5th is a kind of a strange one, peripheral vision. Those of you who've been here long enough may have heard Mr. Hunker telling the tale about the gorilla, about looking the gorilla in the eye. Short version, don't do it. Sometimes we seek to control change by staring it down, which is just another way of refusing to accept it. But if we constantly observe the new and the different out of the corners of our eyes, we invite a kind of familiarity that really is the most productive. 6th is magic. I was recently told that the word abracadabra, translated, means, it will be created with my words. I've since learned that that's a somewhat dubious translation, but I can't shake the sense of power that I felt in that translation. I will create the course of my life. I'm being willing to learn what I can, being willing to learn the unfamiliar steps along the way. My mindful presence in my own life is the magic. And that leads me to the conclusion that I promised you was coming, is live in the moment. Because change is sometimes frightening, we're sometimes afraid to look ahead, and the temptation is to always look behind, determined to believe in the good old days. The danger is that if we become too enamored with the past, we fail to build on the excitement that change can offer us in the present. This is the link I promised you to the year of mindfulness. Living fully in the present is the best way to be excited about, to embrace change. So those are my tips, and I will close with one wish for all of us. I wish us a year of great dancing. In the sun, in the rain, in the here and now, stumbling over the steps from time to time, but dancing together, always together, because that's our strength. Thank you.
Our school's focus on the character education of its students is woven into every aspect of the daily life of the school community, not just in the classroom and in chapel, but on its playing fields, gymnasium courts, along the dormitory corridors, in the dining hall, in student government debates, and in club meeting discussions, and excursions beyond the walls of the school, and in every exchange of ideas that takes place among faculty, staff, and students. The Margaret Love Stevens Chair for Moral and Ethical Education is awarded each year to a member of Westover's faculty and staff nominated by students, selected by a vote of the faculty and staff, on the basis of the person's efforts to enhance the moral and ethical education of Westover's students, of youth. The overwhelming support of this year's recipient demonstrates the respect of our community for her integrity and commitment to the ideal of a moral education. Students wrote the following about this year's recipient. She has managed to make us conscious of our global responsibility and the moral necessity of such leadership. She is the main reason why Westover graduates are such socially responsible citizens and future leaders. She is one of the strongest and most inspiring women that I have had the honor of getting to know. She gave me a chance to start over at Westover. I needed a change, and she offered me the most gracious and wonderful opportunity, and I hope I will prove worth the risk. She always looks for the best in people. It's not that she doesn't see faults, but she knows that celebrating the good that people do is the best way to teach morality. 3 words that appeared over and over in both student and faculty comments were perseverance, inspiration, and optimism. And faculty comments included the following. Everything she does, from the most casual conversations to the grand events, to the really hard conversations, comes from the ethical place of justice, fairness, and compassion. She has often pointed out that many faculty have been nominated for this prize, and many adults are doing commendable things precisely because of her and the tone she has set. She has shown us in her work that she values and augments our students' moral and ethical education. She calls on us all, students and faculty, to bring our very best to the table, and I most often see our best placed there before her. It is at those times that I'm deeply impressed and aware that this community is not what it is by accident. But because we have a strong leader who is coaxing us gently but firmly toward our better selves. It's my great pleasure to present the Margaret Love Stevens Chair for Moral and Ethical Education, Anne Lena.
girls who earned high honors with distinction the entire year last year. Girls, please stand when I call your name and remain standing. Please hold your applause until the end. Alicia Belcher. Brianna Bergen. Julia Cooper. Kaylee Daniels. Kira DeSimone. Claire Donovan. Nola Iwasaki. Brianna Jones. Jenny Kim. Catherine Kenson. Leanne Kolba. Sophia Lee. Karen Lee. Kristen McLean. Samantha Masasi. Sarah Navius. Olivia Pesh. Rachel Pomerantz. Minju Shin. Marie Shirashi. Sophia Strayets. Oh, thank you. Sorry, Sophia. Min Toe. Grace Yule. Tiffany Billikers. And Isabel Yu. Congratulations.
And we close with some special awards. And I would ask these students to come forward, please. The Westover Scholastic Award goes to the returning student who has the highest average for the preceding year, regardless of class. This year, the award goes to Nola Iwasaki. The Sexton Walker Scholarship Award goes to a returning student who, in the opinion of the faculty and administration, has made excellent use of her abilities and the opportunities available to her, and who possesses the character, the spirit, and the will to persevere in reaching her goals. This year's award winner is Sarah Hassan. Scholarship Award goes to one of the 4 top-ranking seniors. Besides being one of the outstanding students in her class academically, other criteria for the award are based upon her personal qualities and contribution to school life. This year, the award goes to Leanne Kolpa. Our last award is the Elizabeth M. and Joseph L. Mulder Scholarship Award, which goes to a student who has attended Westover for at least 2 years. She must be capable academically and possess personal qualities such as enthusiasm for life and learning, concern for others, self-discipline, resiliency, and a sense of fairness. This year, the award goes to Zulma Dunn.